Welcome to the 23rd Sunday after Pentecost, October the 27th, 2024. This is the Manna at the Tap podcast, where we as a community actively seek the spiritual nourishment our souls crave. The daily lectionary reading we explore together is the Manna, designed to nurture our spiritual growth and provide the sustenance our souls need. I'm Gloria, your fellow traveler on this spiritual journey, and together we share insights and interpretations from these readings that enrich our spiritual life. The lectionary reading today is Job 42, verses 1 to 6 and 10 to 17. We have come to the end of the story of Job after all his struggles about the absence of God and the suffering he experienced about his faith. In this final chapter, Job does not question God aggressively. Instead, he admits he has been wrong and acknowledges that he had not known God before. He had only, quote, heard of, unquote, God, but had never indeed seen God. Unable to answer God's rhetorical questions that were fired in rapid succession in the earlier chapters of 38 to 41, Job recanted his accusation about God's injustice, and he repented about his prior understanding of the human condition. His speech in verses 2 to 5 of the lectionary text acts as his statement of faith. He confesses God's sovereign power, concedes his lack of understanding by which he judged God, and cherishes his direct experience of God above what he had known from before. What brought about the changes in Job? His struggle and suffering opened his eyes when God spoke and answered him. God spoke of the wonders of creation, the sending of lightning to announce the rain, and the rains in answer to drought on the earth, and most of all, the care of all creatures, great and small. God specifically spoke of these wonders to illustrate how Job was ignorant of God's work. Now, this same thought of the word wonder can be found in Exodus chapter 3, verse 20, when God sent the plagues in Egypt. And this is what God said: "So I, God, I will stretch out my hand and I will strike Egypt with all my wonders that I will perform in it. After that, Egypt will let my people go." The wonders about God himself define Job's story. God is finally at work despite Satan. His work in creation and Job's life answers the question of Job's complaint as he sought God's presence and questioned God's absence. It is God who, though too wonderful to know, is all that Job cares to know in the end. God accepted Job's complaint, but did not allow his complaint to be the last word or for Job to stay stuck where he was. God responded and he set him free. And this is a reminder of the lessons we learn in the Psalms about what it means to lament. There's a complaint, an accusation, and there's doubt. They are all faithful expressions of a relationship with God. Let me say that again. A lament means there's a complaint, there's an accusation, and there is doubt. But these are all faithful expressions of a relationship with God. The complaint is never allowed to surpass God in trust in Him, nor does the doubt go unanswered. Like Job in his struggles, sufferings, complaints, and wonder, we too can hear of God and see Him with our eyes. God will ask Job to pray for his friends, and then his wealth and blessedness were doubly restored. His three beautiful daughters received an equal inheritance as their seven brothers, reflecting Job's enormous wealth. The restoration of Job's fortunes exemplifies God's free and gracious choice. His wealth, family, and health were taken away instantly. However, we should not conclude that the restoration happened immediately. It did not happen overnight. It required the passing and the living of time for the restoration to be complete. And the additional 10 children that Job and his wife had would also take as little as 10 years or more. Now, in Job chapter 1, verse 9, Satan asked God, "Does Job fear you, God, for nothing?" The answer is in the affirmative. Job fears God without any assurance of a blessing. The restoration and the doubling of what Job received reflects God's faithfulness to him. Job did not fear God in order to receive a reward, but in fearing God, Job discovered God's faithfulness.